Hello guys, welcome back to my Positivity YouTube channel. It has been a long time I didn't read the continuation of Wild Darling story. Now I will read the third part for you. Hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. But the closer she got, the clearer her voice became, saying, "Where are you, girl?" "Girl?" It was the voice of the same young woman, not my mother. I was heartbroken by all this frustration and started crying again. But I was happy that the unknown woman did not leave me alone. When she saw me, she shouted loudly, "Didn't I tell you not to go? Why are you so stupid? What if I could not find you?" I said, "Nothing could be done. I did not ask you to come back. Who said to come?" She set up her tent and said, "Nothing could be left here like a dog. If luck were with you, otherwise you would fall into the trap of bad person, and I would not let go of the torment of conscience for the rest of my life. Get up and go together." I said, "I'm not coming. Why did I become so important to you?" She pulled out and said, "Everyone who said that humanity is dead in our city, they must tell a lie, because I'm still alive. Get up, we will go to Herat again. We will talk about smuggling to take us to Mashhad." I was going to leave too, but I was heartbroken. "You gave me a strong reason to decide to leave. Get up until we reach the village before nightfall." Hearing this, I got up happily and walked with a woman I had never met, whom I did not know. The sun has reached the minaret of the mosque where we entered the city, a city with more men than women. They attacked us with their eyes. Even small children who wore only men's clothes as a sign of being men. But what was interesting was the firm step of this woman, a woman whose name I did not even know, but she walked so powerfully as if she were a man. Because of his courage, I raised my head and walked with her. We approached a pale wooden gate that removed its tents from its face and slowly knocked on the gate 4 times. She counted to 3 and hit the gate twice more. I was amazed at her behavior until a young man opened the door and we entered the house together. The house, which was full of young and beautiful girls, surpassed each other in beauty. One of the girls came out of the room to the west and said, "Safura has a daughter." And following that girl, they all laughed and said, "Ha ha ha." Another one said, "Safura, tell me, how did you give birth to such a big girl in one night?" I was amazed by their behavior and was nailed in place by this woman's loud voice. "This girl is trustworthy. Woe to anyone who takes a step toward her or has an evil thought in her head. I swear to my God and not to your God, I will walk with her so that no man will favor her, and every time she sees herself in the mirror, she will see a 70 years old woman." After the last sentence, this woman was silent throughout the house, and no one said anything until someone came and said that no runaway girl has the right to return to my house. I turned to the voice and met a fat white woman. Although the traces of aging were visible in her body, but she was still so beautiful that no one look met all the girl of that house by. No woman who held my hand said, My aunt, I ran away for myself, but I come back for this girl. She has no place to stay. She uses my right to bread and stays in this house like my guest. The woman who was called her aunt and said sarcastically, Safura, who said you have the right to live in this house when you went and brought a guest? After Auntie's word, all the girls started laughing, and Safura, the woman who held my hand, said, if I were not, no one would set foot in the gate of this house. She turned to the girl and said, all of this is not worth as much as a sweetheart of mine. If I'm not, there is no bread to eat. This house and its daughters are not worth free. What do you have to say now, Aunt? Aunt took a step and said, no beautiful face is forever popular, even if you are crazy for Lily. When old age came to you, I remember this word and saying, so do not be so proud of something that is temporary. You only have the right to be in this house for one night because of the past and the thing you did for this house. You leave this house tomorrow morning after the call to prayer. Now the girls decide where to sleep. If neither of them agrees, find a place to sleep on a yard. And then she says in a relatively loud voice, who will let Safura and this girl into her room? Although you are not worth as much as a cute one. The eyes of both of us were on them, and we were waiting for them to say something. When I was disappointed, one of the girls, while combing her hair, said, that is true that Safura is not worth staying among us, but it's not the way of God and His messenger. My conscience is not comfortable with this action, so stay overnight in my room, of course, if Safura deems us worthy. All the girls were shot at us and with sarcasm and tongue wound and laughed. Safura took my hand and we went to the vestibule with her. There were many rooms, reminding me of the house of mice. After a few minutes, we reached a cramped and dark room. It was wetter and colder than our house. I was wondering, what is the difference between this room and the alley? Safura said, the alley is not safe. This room has a place to sleep with all its wear and tears. I looked at her and said, when are we going? Safura glanced at me and said, tonight. Now we find a place to rest. I threw it on the floor wall of the theory room. Moisture had penetrated the seam of the seam and separated its layer by layer from the straw of the flower. I was amazed how it was still firm and did not collapse. It has been my torment and suffering that this has happened. Ha 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 ha. What is your relationship with Safura? I said, nothing. The girl kept her head on pillow and said, it is better not to have her. She is not a good woman. I said, what? You are a good. She laughed and said that no good person can pass through the 10 meters of the gate of this house. You mean inside the house? Ha 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 ha. I rested my head on the pillow and tried not to think about anything. I knew better what house I came to and how bad the residents were. Anyway, whether Safura is a good girl or not, she will take me to my mother. My eyes were closing when Safura hurried into the room and said softly that we should leave the house without sound.